Hello everyone, I wanted to finish out this series on the Bible tools that I use. So today we're going to be looking at the punches and the cutters. Sorry, I had to think for a minute. If you are returning, welcome back. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope you stick around. Consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the information that I'm sharing with you here today. Okay, so I have an array of stuff on my desk here and we'll go through them. I'm going to share some of the punches that I have. You know, this is bothering me because there's something stuck. But let's just go ahead and start with this one. These punches, these are called the EK Success Tools. There it is. I had some paper I made a punch before and it's stuck. These are the EK Success Tools, and you can find these on Amazon, and they come with different patterns. So what it does is that you'll put your paper in here and it will cut out a pattern. I was trying to save this paper for something else, but let's go ahead. I'll do just like a corner of it because I'm trying to save this paper to show you something else. So this is, again, the EK Success Tools, and there are lines so that you can get them repeating and not overlapping the pattern. So there are lines here where you would line it up. So since I'm starting, I would line it up with the first line right there, and then I would press down to punch. Ooh, I'm gonna have to pick this one up. It is. There we go. So that's what it leaves. It leaves all of this. Now, if you are, you know, someone who creates the pockets, you can put these in there in the pockets, or you can just toss this, right? But let me show you the design that it makes. So it leaves you with that. Okay, isn't that gorgeous? All right, so that's this pattern, and we just close it down, and there is a lock that keeps that in place. And these are heavy. These are heavy. So this one has another beautiful pattern. So from this side, I would just line it up with this line. And if I wanted it to repeat, I'll show you how I would do that for it to repeat. Okay, that is a gorgeous pattern. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't it gorgeous? And with the glitter paper, so that just gives you an idea of what you can do with these punches. And if you're going to repeat it, then you would line up your straight edge with the line here, and that way it'll repeat evenly. Okay, and you can also line it up with the pattern on the side. That's why they put the pattern on the plate, so that you can get a even repeat pattern. You see how I'm lining it up here? I don't want to see any of the gray in that pattern, so when you line it up, it'll punch again and give you that even punch where it just looks like it's just continuing on, right? So that is the EK Success Tool. Right, let me lock that one up. I think this needs some oil. I think it needs oil. It gave me a bit of a rough go there. Okay, so that's the EK Success Tool, and of course there's just the single punch. A lot of us know about the single punch, which gives us just that single hole punch. This you can use if you're using like Happy Planner, and then you just make the notch, or you can buy the Happy Planner punch. I don't have a Happy Planner punch, so I can't show you that or comment on it. But if you didn't, you could measure out your holes, punch it with this, and then make the notch, cut out the notch to pop it into your Happy Planner. So that's what this is good for. this is good for, or anything else where you may want to like weave some ribbon through a hole, make a bow, whatever. I have this in this size and then a smaller hole punch. So I've got 2 of these. I've also got the Crocodile. Now this Crocodile, I'm sorry, the We Are Memory Keeper. Now let me give the brand name. It's We Are Memory Keepers. I actually got this from Michael's a while ago, and it's called a Crocodile corner cromper. So it gives you two corner punches on this. So if I put this, I don't know if I can do it with this pattern here. I'm really trying to save my paper. I really used up this one. I want to do something with this. So yeah, so if I can do it like that, it gives you like a sharp rounding there. It's not like a deep rounded corner. Or if you use the other side, it gives you an even deeper rounded corner. So you see that there's 2 measurements to that rounding. I also have a smaller round. I prefer this one. I have this one. It gives you 3 areas that you can punch to round your corners. This one's a bit wider, this one's a bit narrower, and this one's like in between. So you've got like a 4mm, a 10mm, and a 7mm. So this is a corner rounder as well. So let's see if I do the really deep one on this side. So that gives you an idea of what this one does. This is like a really lightweight handheld one, but it's not one that I use, especially when I'm using like much heavier weight cardstock or products. But this is a good one to use if you're just using like regular weight papers. What else are we gonna do next? So let's continue with these, because I'm gonna do the punches. So let me continue with the punches, and then we'll go into the actual cutting. This is for if you're using a ring bound like planner or anything that uses rings. This is a great punch. This is a Repesco is the brand. And let me just say, all of these items that I showed you, you can get from Amazon. So these punches I did get from Amazon, the EK Success Tools decorative punch. This one, I believe, yes, I got this from Amazon. You can get these single hole punchers from Amazon as well. Even though I got this from Michael's, I believe you can also get this from Amazon. And this one I did get from Amazon as well. It has a lock, so when you press it down, it locks it in place. When you hold it and then push that forward, it releases the lock. You can pull it out to adjust to, it has indications here to tell you if you're using a personal size, if you're using an A5, and it also has the guides here, so you can move this. So if I'm using an A5, I would have this line up here. But if I'm using an A6, then I need the line to line up with this one. And also on this side, I would move that slider over to that line. And if you're using a pocket size or a mini, then you would move those sliders. I have no strength in that left hand. Over to the inside, and then you would pull your slider out to where, if you're doing a pocket, you don't need to pull this out. So it shows you the pocket, you would line up your page to this line, and if it's a mini, you would line up your page to this line, and then you would punch your hole. But if it's an A5 or personal size, then you would pull your personal out to this notch, line your paper up to here, and then punch your hole. An A5, you'd pull it out to this notch, and then you would pull your paper out to here and then punch, flip the paper, and punch again. The same for the A5 and the personal size. You would punch, then flip your paper and punch it again. But if it's the pocket and the mini, you would just line your paper up to the lines and then punch once, because it's already set to where it can punch the top and the bottom holes simultaneously. So hope that's making sense. And then there's this little thing here. You can just open this to empty out those dots. As you can see, I've been using it, or you can just take the whole thing off and you can empty out all of the excess from the punches that you've made. So it's easy to empty, very easy to use, and I love this. Don't mind my little extra lines because I did some things in a different measurement, so I made some notches for myself. But this is a great tool if you're using a ring bound planner. It could be Carpe Diem, or maybe you're using the print pressions. You can definitely use that to punch your page holes. All right, so if you're using a Faith Dex and you wanted to punch holes for that Faith Dex, let me just show you what the some people call it a Rolodex, but we in the Bible journaling community would call it a Faith Dex because we use it to house our inspirational and faith cards. So I did this the other day. I also have the video uploaded showing how I did this. So these are the Faith Dex cards, and here are some previous ones that I've done. So in order to get the holes punch for this, you can use the Heidi Swapp punch. The housing unit for the Faith Dex cards is by, I believe it's by Heidi Swapp, and then this is the Heidi Swapp punch. So you would just line up your card, put these lines, slide it in, and then you would just punch. I will link the video in the eye above so that you can see how I punched and created those cards. And then you can see it's falling out, but there is a little window here that you can open, and it releases all the excess of the punches that you've made. Okay, so that window was loose, that's why it came out. And I believe I got this one from scrapbook.com. I am an affiliate of scrapbook.com. I will leave the link in the description, so that if you're looking for that Heidi Swapp punch, you can definitely find it on scrapbook.com. All right, I'm trying not to take too long on doing this. So let's look at the cutters now. We went through the punches. Let's go through the cutters. So I will show you what I was saving this paper for. Okay, so let's get into this. I want to say that when I was talking about these, this is actually a die cutting and embossing. So what does that mean? It means it embosses and it cuts out at the same time. So this is not the embossing, but I'm going to show you what this looks like. I do have an embossing folder in which I can show you an example of embossing. So that's the embossing folder. I'll leave that to the side. Let's do the die cutting first so I can show you what the die cutting looks like. So with this, I'm putting down this plate. I'm also putting down this other plate that comes with the machine. I'm putting down this clear plate, and there's going to be a cracking noise when this goes through, and that's normal. So let's get a piece of paper that we can use. This is a very thick piece of paper. I hope it works, but it's a beautiful piece of paper. It's textured on one side. So I'm going to use this larger cross just to show you how that die cutting looks. Caught in my nail. So I'll lay that down there. I'll rest this paper on there, and then you put the other clear plate on top, and then you roll this through. So like I said, you're going to hear some cracking. This paper may be too thick. I may have to use another piece. I don't know why I used this paper, but let's see. I'll put it through one more time for good measure. Sorry for the shaking. All right, let's pull this through. All right, removing that top plate and removing, you see the cutout? So it cuts out the cross all the way around, and it gives an embossing. Now you can punch out these inner pieces so you can get more detailing. You see that? And then you can do a nice antiquing effect on this sorry, trying to punch out these pieces here so that you can see. So you can do a nice antique with the embossing. I just want to show you that embossing detail, the detailing that is on this. I don't know if you can see it. I know it's white. You can like put some antiquing on those raised parts. This can come out quite beautiful. So it did a die cut, which means it cut out the image entirely and it embossed where it gave this pattern on the inlay. So that is a die cutting and embossing stencil. Let me show you what the embossing by itself looks like. All right, let's see if I can get this back on here the way that it was supposed to look. All right, let's get this back in its packaging. And I love that this comes with the magnetic sheet to hold your dies in place. I got this from scrapbook.com. They were on sale. The brand is Daris. So, like I said, I'm linking scrapbook.com below. All right, let's move on to the embossing. So I'm going to take a piece of this paper I have here. This regular cardstock paper. I'm going to put it in this embossing envelope. Make sure I get all of it, because I want to show you what this is going to look like. All right, and for this I don't need the blue plate. That'll be too much because this has a thickness to it. So you only use the bottom thick plate, this clear one. I'm placing this on top. I don't have to have it all in there. And then the other clear plate on top of that, and then we're going to emboss. Let me push it in a bit. And now that I've got it hooked in, let me hold this down, reel it through, and you're hearing a little bit of cracking because it's actually embossing and cutting at the same time. And I'll show you, even though this is an embossing folder. Let's see what we've got. Remove that clear plate, remove this, open it up, and this is what I meant by it's cutting it out. It cut out this inner piece so that you can have just this. So you can cut this out and you can put this on a card, or you can use this on your Bible journaling, and you can put a little message in between here in this little window, or you can put it vertically, or you can turn it horizontally. Do you see that? And then you've got this other extra piece here. This could be like a little ticket. Even that is embossed. That little ticket there. It's embossed on the edges. So you can use this for something. And I'm going to keep it because this is just too cute. Too cute. I probably didn't cut it out right, but look at that. That's awesome. So that is what your die cutting machine can do. It can emboss and it can die cut, or it can do both at the same time, as we saw with the cross. So very good investment. A lot of card makers use it, but we can use it in Bible journaling because there are so many elements that we can cut out. I have die cuts that are florals. I have vine edges. I have butterflies. I love butterflies. So you can die cut all those things on the die cutting machine. So it's a great investment. Pricey, but there are some that are inexpensive. This Big Shot priced around about $130 at the time, but there are those like the Empress that cost like around, I think it's $30 or something like that, smaller die cutting machines. So I even have a die cut to cut out the Faith Dex cards. So it cuts out the Faith Dex cards to the perfect size. So I don't even have to use the punch. It cuts out the card with the punch. So I have a die cut for that I could use on this as well. So, and just think about the possibilities. You can use floral paper, you can use glitter paper, you can use any kind of paper and cut out these die cuts, just so you can get an idea. So that is the die cutting machine. All right, see if we can get this big one out of the way and move on to the other cutters. Probably a little simpler than what we we're doing, but let's get on to the other cutters. All right. So let's talk about the scissors. Just a simple pair of scissors. Nothing beats a good pair of scissors. These scissors, I had some scissors and they got so dull, but I invested in these Tim Holtz. Matter of fact, when I got it, I got 2 pairs and I was like, I probably didn't even need it because these scissors are phenomenal. They have a serrated edge, so they're constantly sharpening themselves, and boy, are they sharp. These scissors have taken a beating and they're just so sharp. I love them. I've had them for a while. I have no problem cutting. Do you see it cuts easy with no problem? Simple, sharp, and they remain sharp. So they have that serrated edge. It just continues to sharpen itself, and it's by Tim Holtz. And I actually got this pair of scissors from Amazon. It's the iconic brand. Okay, so Tim Holtz scissors, and I believe it has the short bladed end, but they have one that has the long bladed end. So you can, and it has, what I love about it, it has this rubber grip, the rubber handles, so it's easy on your hands. Have you ever had scissors and you've been cutting for a while and it starts to, like, you know, bruise your thumb or your fingers? This is so soft to the touch. I love this pair of scissors. Great investment. Okay, next cutting tool. We're just about done. The next cutting tool I'm going to talk about is, and I was supposed to use this paper I was holding on to so dearly to do the example of the die cutting. Okay. Anyway, let's go. The next cutting tool I'm going to talk about is this one here, and it's called the Gyro Cut. I don't know what happened to the cover because it is quite sharp. It is quite sharp, but it has this slanted beveled blade. Okay, and I'm using one of the printables just released in my shop, and I'm going to try to die cut out this. So you're trying to get this down to the very pointed tip, and then you're going to try and just go around your image and cut from there. So if I make my first with that, and then I just follow around. You have to know the pressure that you're following around with, because this is quite sharp and you can cut through. And if you do, I don't think it'll be a problem. You'll just have to know how to separate your pages, and then you can turn, but keep the blade down. And then you're going around, and if you lose your pace, you can just pick back up, put your blade back on that line and continue, and you just following. Michelle, go slow and don't get too excited. So you're just following around. All right, and I'm just following around this text. All right, and then it just somehow just meets back up into your end. And then I just want to show you how this cut. Wow, look at that. Do you see? Do you see that beautiful cut it gave me? So this is the Gyro Cut. It's beautiful for cutting out your printables, because I know we're used to fussy cutting, and fussy cutting is it's good. It's relaxing. If you can sit down watching a YouTube video or watching a movie, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with taking your scissors and fussy cutting. But if you want that nice die cut edge, you know, nice and smooth, and taking your time, this Gyro Cut is perfect for it. I've actually neglected using this, and I'm going to keep this where I can see it. I had it in my Bible journaling bag, but I need to keep it where I can see it more and utilize it more. And I'm going to try and put this right back on there so that I can use it. But look at that. I love how this cuts. So that is the Gyro Cut. Got it from Amazon. I will link it in the description below. Another thing that I got from Amazon was this slice tool. It's kind of rubbed off, but it's called the slice tool. And it's an X-Acto knife. It's a plastic blade. I don't know if you can see that. It is a plastic blade, but it's sharp. It cuts. So If you're looking for an X-Acto knife, I'm going to show you the cut it just made. Do you see that? Make another cut for you. You see that cut? Of course, I'm dealing with textured paper, so let me cut this part off here. And you have to hold the blade where it's laying down at an angle, and it will cut for you. So this is the X-Acto knife, and it's called the Slice Tool. You can get that on Amazon. Okay, last but not least are the cutting boards. So I've got this big one here for bigger projects. So let's say you just want to have your principal cut up, or whatever it is you're cutting, and it's a big 8.5 by 11 such as this. You can use this machine. All right. So now I've got all 3 of those sections cut out for me, right? So you can use big projects on this. This is a 12, and I believe the length of this is much longer. This may be like a 20-inch in this direction. But this is the Swingline. Sorry, this is the Swingline, and I got this one from Amazon, and it cuts beautifully. It even has the grids where you can score. Only thing is for me is that this little measurement tool here kind of prevents you from scoring big items. You'd have to like position like your 8.5, 11 a little bit lower. So if you had like a 12 by 12, it wouldn't work for scoring. So this little measurement here prevents that. That's why I have a separate scoring board, but it has the grooves where you can score, and it cuts as well. So that's the Swingline. Got it from Amazon. I will link that below. And then last but not least is this little one that I got from Amazon as well. So sometimes you don't need anything that big and you just want a small little cutter. This one works great for me. It is the Bira brand. Got some great reviews on Amazon, so I picked it up, and it is quite sharp. It has this protective bar here that you would use to hold down your project and then slice away. So let me show you how that looks. So if I wanted to slice out one of these affirmations from this printable, I would just slide it in, position it to where I want it to cut, hold down the clear bar, and then that's it. There we go. And then if I still wanted to fussy cut it out, I can use my Gyro Cut, or I can use my scissors. And that is the Bira. It measures up to 5 inches in this direction, I believe. Yeah, this is the 4. Yeah, so it's, I'd say 4.5 inches in this direction, and it's 6 inches in this direction. So it's a small cutter, but very handy, something you can keep on your desk, use for your smaller projects, and that is it. Okay, I think I've come to all of the punching and the cutting tools. Sorry for any confusion in the midst of it, but I hope that it was clear. Any questions that you may have, you can always leave them in the comments below. Also comment and let me know what you think of these tools. If you have any of them, how are they working for you? Or if there's anything that I didn't show here and you may be using, hey, let me know. Maybe it's something that I would want to use myself, or you can share with everyone here in the community and they may want to partake in it as well. But that is the end of the video, and if you enjoyed it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, as I said. Also, don't forget to comment, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Be blessed, everyone. Bye-bye.